kind of have to have your toe dipped in. Ah, shit.
You gotta have your toe dipped in shit.
Sorry, no, my video's cutting off. You gotta have
You heard it here
your
first,
toe
ladies
dipped.
and gentlemen.
Yo, how you been, bro?
I've been amazing.
Yeah.
Been amazing.
WAB.
Wow.
Okay.
What's good, bro?
Chilling, bro. Just had a really nice birthday. You know, fucking easy going. I love being left alone, so it wasn't anything ridiculous. So I just had a really good time.
That's right, man. Happy birthday, dude. Happy birthday.
Thank you, brother. Yeah, it was awesome.
You turned like 42?
43. Yeah, everything hurts.
Getting old, baby. You get old.
Dude, it sucks. Getting old is no fun. No, really, I don't really feel much older. I'm feeling pretty okay. I've been doing the whole vegan thing for the past week.
How's it been going, bro?
Easy. Because I'm not eating weird substitution shit. I'm just eating veggies and fruits, and it's been fucking awesome. The other day I was like, oh shit, what do I have to make? I was gonna make some spinach and some toast, and my dad's like, oh, we got broccoli in the fridge. So I steamed some broccoli through like that vegan butter and some garlic on it. Yo, that shit was so good. It was so good. I made it again for breakfast the next day. You know, I'm feeling better. I'm feeling lighter. It's only been a week. I think I can keep this going for a while.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice, man. I'm happy that it's actually going well for you right out the gate. By the way, welcome to another episode of the WAB, guys. You know, where me and Omar get together and we save tons of money by just having our own joint weekly therapy sessions over a couple joints and some coffee, man. Pretty good.
It's the way to do it with no insurance.
It's a nice alternative to Western medicine. So a lighter would help me too. But yeah,
Western medicine.
Just another episode of our therapy, and yeah, Omar just turned like 42 yesterday, 43.
My back.
Damn, this light's
dead. Yeah, I'm still waiting for my double ARP card to come in the mail. I need those discounts, bro. Shit's not getting any cheaper.
They'll send it to you anytime soon now, man. Anytime, it's coming. Just do what all you old people do. You know what I mean? Wait patiently by the front door. Just spotting for the mailman and every other stranger that's walking around, getting everybody's business. You'll have your check in no time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Get off my lawn, all that shit. I've been practicing.
Yeah, I seen that stupid video. You know, I hate all the like TikToks and Instagram and like the dumbass videos because it just drowns out real entertainment. You know, it kind of opens a path for like idiots like us. But I saw one dumbass video and it was like the UPS guy delivering some shit. And like the dude's security camera of him, and he's just like hopping on the grass. You seen that?
Exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah.
And then dude comes out, he gets the sign that shows and it says "Keep on grass."
Yeah. It was great because it opens up. He's like, I saw this guy doing like acting really weird, and I couldn't put my finger on it or something like that. It was great. He's like, I didn't think anybody would take this seriously.
Yeah, that shit was good, man.
Dude, I love TikTok. I consume hours and hours of TikTok every day.
Fuck that noise.
I love that shit.
Fuck that noise. Hey, man, not fuck all those like content creators. Like that shit's cool. You know what I mean? It's a nice, you know, I love that everybody's out there making shit. I just, you know, we're going to get to the point where it's going to be 1 second videos soon, bro. It's just going to be, it's just going to be like, we're going to get back to like 1 second videos to the point where people forget how to make longer shit. And then we're going to be back to like, what's up commercials. What's up?
I disagree with that. People forgetting how to make content. I think those 1 minute videos that people are currently making, 1 minute or less, are the gateway drug to their other content. Because you see something that they talk about, whether it's silly entertainment or, you know, there is plenty of high quality, real information out there on TikTok. And it's like, all right, cool. I like what this guy's talking about. I like what's going on. Let me go to his link, see where it takes me, and then you can see the rest of all of their content. It's fantastic. I think it's really great. One thing I also think is interesting is the way you consume content. So, for example, when I'm on TikTok, if you don't have my attention right away, fuck you, I'm going to the next thing. Fuck you, I'm going to the next thing if you don't have my attention right away.
That's the problem.
Well, no, time out.
All right, my fault.
With YouTube, I'm sitting down, I'm like, all right, I am committing at least a few minutes before I say, fuck you, I'm getting out of here. Right? So it's this whole, depending on what you're consuming also determines how much attention you're going to give something. So if I'm just, and it reminds me a lot of how I sit down and play video games too, right? If I'm trying to play like a serious game that requires attention and has a story, I'm going to put on Ghost of Tsushima or some RPG, and I'm going to sit there and get involved in the story. If I'm just trying to do something fast, I'm going to hop on Call of Duty, fucking rape somebody's face in multiplayer, and do that for a few games and get the fuck out. It's a lot like that.
Now, I get what you mean. I'm just saying, like, it gets to the point where it makes it so that, like, people don't appreciate the actual cinema, like the long form cinema, because you're not trained anymore to have that patience to wait for something to build. Therefore, it's like now everything, if you don't immediately introduce everything, develop your character, have your story. If you don't grab me right from the gate, like, then fuck you. And as well as that, if you don't grab me every 4 seconds, then fuck you. Like, that's what I feel like all the short form stuff is training. And it's good. Don't get me wrong. It's good in the sense of content creators have to learn how to grab someone's attention right out the gate. That's awesome. But that's always been part of like how you make a movie or a short film, like you got to get their attention right out of the gate. That's why I guess that's maybe why you have movies that like start at the end and then we'll jump to the beginning and then occasionally go back to the middle and show other characters' perspectives. That's from the other guys.
So what's actually really interesting about that is it also depends on how you leverage your what's the word I'm looking for? Your reputation. All right? Because a really good example of the opposite of that is, have you watched WandaVision yet?
Yeah. Hell yeah. Okay. Finally.
First 2 episodes, I couldn't stand. But why did I keep watching them? Well, the MCU tends to be the only thing that really has my attention. I'm not a movie guy. Anybody that watches this podcast has heard me say it. I'm not the kind of person to really watch movies like that. But the MCU has the formula that has my attention. So I'm sitting there totally hating these first 2 episodes because it's such a slow start, and the entire time I'm like, what the fuck is going on? But I gave it a shot because I know that usually there's a payoff with them. And granted, some of the movies open up with action right off the bat. But episode 2, some shit happened, and I was like, I'm sorry, episode 3, some shit happened, and I was like, oh, okay. I like where this is going. And then episode 4 punched me in the gut and said, yes, this is what you want to watch. Right? But now to the whole like training people and how their attention is, that's just how our attention is. If you think about the way we've been creating media for years, we've been making things that require less attention span than prior to that, and then that's been growing. So it used to be you would have to go out and see a play or watch a musical, right? Before there was television and movies. And then the movies were a certain length, and then those started to grow. And now you have 3-hour movies, and that's totally acceptable, So I really think it's just how they're making media nowadays. They're capitalizing on getting your attention right away, but then jumping out onto, all right, I have your attention. Now I'm going to leverage that and make you watch my full content.
You got the right word in there, man. How do they capitalize on that? And basically, that's all the attention span thing is. That's what I don't like about it. You're right that people have that attention span. Well, we only got like 4 seconds before, like, we're like, all right, we're losing interest in stuff. That's just how, like you say, like, that's how the brain works. But that would mean, you know what I mean? If that were like the only rule that comes to it, that would mean that no one's ever cared about anything that took more than 4 seconds. But movies have always had longer form, like you say, plays, such like that. Right. It's just that how can they capitalize on it the most is I want to make it as short as possible so I can have you watch it as many times as possible so I can have as much money made as possible. So if I have to have you watch a 3-hour movie and get a ticket paid for it one time, that's less money I can make than if I were to have a movie that was like an hour and a half, because I can get 2 movies showings in there and get paid twice. Shit, if I can get it down to 30-minute shows, every day on the week, shit, then I can add in advertising. So my problem is not so much that I think we're moving towards something that's good. I think we're moving towards something that's, like you say, yeah, that's how the attention works, but it's not how, that's not how we should be absorbing it all, because it forces us to then not care for anything that's longer than that 4 seconds. I think TikTok and whatnot is basically like how we talk about UFC and stuff being like the decay of civilization, basically, because we're going back to like fighting in Roman fucking Colosseums.
Right.
That's basically what TikTok is for like cinema. It is like the decay of cinema. Like, and I just say TikTok because it's one of the shortest ones. All those, everything that's short form is like clumped into one. If you're basically trying to make me watch as many things as possible over and over, keep my attention a ton of times, and you're getting paid as many times as you can throughout that, whether it just be from the views, the advertising and whatnot that goes into there, the subscription base that then becomes involved because, oh, you want to watch some shit, like it's going to be a little bit every week, you know, like Wanda and stuff. Like everything's going to like subscription based releasing shows. No more binging. Fuck you and your binging. We're taking that out. You know, you want to enjoy all of it and be able to sit there and watch 400 hours of a TV show, 30 episodes, fucking a season, hour-long episodes
you
for
can still do that.
12 seasons on some things. But like we say with Wanda, like that's an example where they switched up their format on us from what you were trained and used to doing, in a sense. The movies for Marvel, I love them and I hate them. I love them because they're entertaining. They're comic book shit. I hate them because they've become so mundane and fucking like you can literally just predict what is coming in Marvel movies because they're all the fucking same now. It's just different characters and whatnot. Different comic books, same fucking algorithm.
I want to get back to that.
Marvel,
too.
Marvel, that's getting fucking old, bro. Cut the shit, you know? And Disney, get your fucking dick out of Marvel's ass and stop forcing them to fucking live up to this fucking bullshit Disney fucking thing where everybody's got to lose arms everywhere and there's overtones of fucking weird incestual sexuality going on and everything. Like, what in the fuck, bro? Like, get out of here, Disney. We don't want that shit, all right?
You're right. Totally weird. But so now, and you know, this is one of those things where you and I definitely disagree on. What the reason I think it's a great idea to move to this, let me grab your attention in a short amount of time, is that, for example, what you and I are doing right now, this podcast, it's so easy for us to do this, right? I'm at home, you're at home. I just rolled out of bed. I'm in my robe. You know, it's so easy. It's so affordable to do this kind of stuff. The market is oversaturated. So you want to make sure you get in there, you get somebody's attention, and you get the fuck out, right? And that's kind of like me just throwing words around. But you get in there, you get someone's attention,
It sounded good to me.
Try to keep holding on to their attention. That's what you want to do. And I agree with that. Fucking hold on to their attention.
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that. But you can do that. You can do that in long form. And I'll give you the perfect example of it, okay? And it's been around for fucking forever. James Bond movies, bro. Opening scene to a James Bond movie grabs your fucking attention. You're right into some action. Might not even have nothing to do with the main rest of the story, you know? It might just be like a small intro thing, but you're right in the thick of it. You understand it. We give you the whole thing. This is what this movie's going to be. And then we go into the build of the story. It's like, okay, here's an example. Here's my point, in a sense. Stories. That's what everything is. This is all stories.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's all storytelling, in a sense. Whether you're writing a movie, you're writing a short film, you know, you're writing a comic book, you're making anything. It's a story. You want to tell a story. And by making them attention span have to get so much shorter and shorter and shorter. That's great for all these visual stories that we're watching and whatnot. But what happens when it comes to like all the other forms of story? Like, are you going to be tucking your kids in one day and telling them bedtime stories, fairy tales and whatnot? And if that shit's not fucking 4 seconds, you know, your kid don't want to give a fuck. Will they not understand the morals of the story because they don't have anything to get to the end of it?
That's if that's how you view that.
That's how I view it. I view it as storytelling. Yeah. And it's all in a form telling a story. And by making everybody want to have that story, you better have that story done in 4 seconds. Get that shit out there. You know, like, all right, that's cool for that. But, you know, we got a lot, like, you got to apply it to the overall storytelling. I think a story you can't tell it in 4 seconds. Even with visuals, you know? If you can, that's great. I'm sure there's certain people that can compress it down into it. But the real artists are the ones that can, like, really stretch that out. Get you to care more than 4 seconds. Get you to want to be involved in it. Not lose your interest every couple minutes.
So now you're talking about like bedtime stories, right? And here's my counter to that. I watched a lot of cartoons as a kid, right? And then my parents also told me bed stories at night. Now, was I
Yes.
upset that I couldn't visualize what they were showing me? Was I upset that I couldn't see the cartoons actually doing it? No. I was still enjoying the story because my parents were telling me a bedtime story. So I don't think that that really has much of an effect on it. If your parents are going to tell you a bedtime story, you're probably going to like it as a child,
Now
right?
you
And
didn't have.
also something
Sorry.
like that, something like that with like the consumption of media, that's something that your parents should have control over when you're a child, right? Now, granted, that's easy for me to say because I don't have children, but I know if I were growing up with a tablet, I guarantee you my mom would say, no, you're not using that right now. And she would keep me from using that for most of the day, right? So it's also that's also like part of what goes into parenting. But what I wanted to get to before
Let me just
was that
make one more.
whole, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So with the bedtime thing, the whole point of that is that bedtime stories and kids' cartoons and whatnot, and anything you tell a kid, you make those stories. They're never long. A fairy tale's never long. Look at a kid's book to read them to sleep. It's like 12 pages. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And they don't even make it past like 2 or 3 pages before they fall asleep most of the time. It takes a few nights to read those. You know, the reason you make kids stories like those short is because children have short attention spans.
Mm-hmm.
Children, you need to make your story small so a child can be keeping up with it
Digest
and
it.
enjoy it. And in that time, TikTok and all of these things are basically making adults have the attention spans of children again. You're not supposed to have that attention span for stories and whatnot. As an adult, that's what you have as a kid. We use those short stories to train little children how to understand stories so that later on, when you get older, you can appreciate the more in-depth, longer ones. It's like training wheels on a bike. Eventually, you take that off, you know? So everybody that's like, all of us as society, we're falling in love with all these fucking 4-second videos and whatnot. We're basically like hopping training wheels back on our cinema. And then if we try to go and watch some real cinematic fucking movie, we don't even know what we just saw. We're just like, wow, the critics were right. That was fucking mind blowing. It changed it changed how I look at
So
entire
this is
things.
coming right back to
Meanwhile,
what I
it's like
want. What
fucking
I yeah, yeah,
bullshit.
yeah. So this is coming right back to what I wanted to talk about. Back to like me not being a movie guy, right? So, and anybody that knows me knows that I hate most
Lay down.
music.
Lay
I'm a
down.
hater on most things that I listen to. I think everything is too predictable, too shitty. One can say I'm an elitist. I wouldn't say that. I just don't like most stuff. Instead, I just listen to these things and those things just because that's what I listen to, and I have ideas that I appreciate and I find fun. When it comes to movies, it's not like that for me, right? I'm not about like, oh, how good is this film and why? No, for me, it's like, do you have my attention? And a lot of the predictability nonsense has my attention. As far as like the MCU movies, are they great films as far as great films go? Probably not. I don't fucking know. What I do know is that they have my attention. And the entire time I'm enjoying it, I get fucking goosebumps. They do a lot of cool, fun shit like the Easter eggs and all the fan service. I eat that shit up. Is it good? I don't know. Movies aren't my thing like that. So it boils down to like personal taste and stuff. Now back to the whole like people being all ADD with their media consumption. I think the day that we live in, that is a requirement because if you think about it, people aren't running regular businesses anymore, right? You can't survive if you run a business, right? Nowadays, you kind of have to have your toe dipped in. Ah, shit.
You gotta have your toe dipped in shit.
Sorry, no, my video's cutting off. You gotta have
You heard it here
your
first,
toe
ladies
dipped
and gentlemen.
dipped in like a bunch of different things, right? You have to
Secret to
juggle
running a
multiple
business.
things to make some money, So I think that whole minimal attention span, I don't think it's as negative as you think it is. And that's also the beautiful thing about this podcast is there's a lot of things that you and I disagree on, and we get to talk about it because we get to really understand why we disagree on stuff and articulate it. More importantly, I get to hear your view on it, and it's like, all right, cool, like that makes sense. I understand why you say that, and I can still disagree with it, but the understanding of it is, I think, the most important part.
Fuck yeah, bro. That's why I like getting together and talking to you, man, because you always are able to, whether we're on the same page or not, like you say, we both bring a different view to the table. And like you just brought up a great point, man, and like I a great point with that whole music thing to it, because that's exactly what it is. I have more of an appreciation for movies, long form. I like a story. Like, you got to get my attention, take it somewhere, develop your characters. Like, if you're not doing all that, then get the fuck out of here. That's me. I'm a movie buff, you know? But when it comes to music, I'm an idiot. I don't know music. I don't know how to play music. I don't have an ear for musical notes or any of that stuff. I've never put in the work to appreciate it the way that you appreciate it. It's perfect. You said it. You're an elitist when it comes to music, but when it comes to the visual media, it's like, you
I'm
give
not
a fuck.
elitist.
Just keep my attention.
People say I am. Not an elitist. I
I'm,
just
I'm,
hate
I'm
shit.
not
I hate
people.
most stuff.
I'm not people now, bro. Fucking that's a perfect example, because like when I listen to music, I'm not hearing those subtle little things that would give you something to be like, oh wow, this guy's really good, because he didn't just go ahead and put, like, you know, this chord and that chord together. You know, he actually like did something that most people can't do well. Like, he was able to, like, you know, go from here to there, or this to that. Like, you know, he's doing it. Like, I don't know that shit. So for me, I just listen to shit that I think sounds good, you know? And that's also what happens with, I'll use rap because I listen to rap, you know? That's why rap sucks now. You know, like, yeah, there were shitty songs and artists back in the day, but there was people that were trying to push it to a new level. And now you don't have that. You just have everybody doing the what works thing. So you don't have anybody trying to do anything new. You just have people doing the same bullshit, sticking to that format, getting the attention, you know? And I think that that's terrible. I can't appreciate half the shit now, you know?
Speaking of terrible, if you want to listen to a good music producer, Ivan the Terrible Beats. Get on that, everybody. Ivan the Terrible Beats.
ITTB. ITTB.
But yeah, no, I agree with that. You know, so a lot of people listen to rap for the lyrics. Personally, if I'm going to listen to rap, it's got to be about a flow that I can appreciate. And that's why I talk, you know, that's why I listen to artists like Tyler the Creator, and, you know, I like Busta Rhymes. Snoop has a great flow. You know, but I'm not really huge on a lot of rap. You know who I don't like? He's got a good flow, but I just don't like his general aesthetic. Is oh geez, what's his name? What's a really good rapper today? Who's a really good rapper today? Uh-oh. Oh shit, hold on. Audio cut out. Give me 1 second, JB. All right, and we're back. What's the last thing you heard me say?
You know who I don't like? And then you got cut off by the
Okay. Who's a really good rapper right now?
Right now?
Right now. Not Eminem.
Like,
Eminem's amazing.
Like just another rapper in general?
Yeah,
that's
really
like,
good. Like, but he's contemporary. He's today.
Oh, I mean, I listen to nothing but like lyricists. So like, I'm a big Joyner Lucas fan, Tory Lanez, you know, people that like, you got to have some context to your bars. If you don't have bars, get the fuck out of here. I don't want nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
You know, if your shit is basic, get the fuck out of here.
If you want to
be like, if you want to be like a Little Yachty, or if you want to be like one of these little like mumble rappers and shit.
Fuck that shit.
Little Pump. Basically, if you're not Lil Wayne, but you have a little in there, like, I ain't fucking with your shit.
Okay.
You know. And then there's a lot of people that are a little bit like too woke for their own good, you know, where their stuff just isn't enjoyable.
Like
you know, like Logic has a few good songs, but for the most part, his shit is just like, shut the fuck up.
Okay.
But he's very lyrical. I can't deny his ability. He's really good. Just doesn't entertain me with the fucking stuff he raps about for the most part.
At the end of the day, that's really what matters. Does it have your attention? If it does, great. If it doesn't, doesn't fucking matter.
It all has to, you know, music's another one that also has to do with, can I relate to it? You know, can I relate to the artist as well as, you know, the song? A lot of people will hear a song and love it, and then they'll see the artist and be like, I'm not listening to that song anymore. Look at what the fuck is this guy? But I don't know, like another one, I just recently started listening to a little bit of like this guy, Tom McDonald, only because he had a couple songs that went like super like viral because they're like controversial. He keeps rapping about topical stuff, you know, which is fine. He's like capitalizing on it. He, you know, his stuff is okay. Different viewpoints for different folks. So, but he's lyrical in a sense. And then I saw a picture of it, and I was like, "What the fuck? This is an interesting character." Okay, it's like a white dude, all tatted up, long hair. Looks like I don't know. I'm not trying to insult nobody. I'm just saying, it wasn't what I pictured when I
Right.
heard
Yeah.
the songs. I saw the video. I was like, "The fuck?"
Yeah.
Looked like somebody I went to high school with.
All right, keep naming rappers. Though. I'm trying to get this rapper's name.
Oh well, what does
Great,
he look like?
great lyricist. He's black. That's all I got. Great lyricist. He's really big. He's been really big for the past few years.
Wait, are you talking about like?
tongue.
You're not talking about Drake or anything like that, right? Nothing like
No,
mainstream.
it's pretty mainstream, but he's also
Rapper?
really good. Yeah,
A mainstream rapper that's really good.
yeah.
YBN Corday.
No,
That's the future, yo. That's the future right there, Corday. I don't know, man. I don't listen to a lot of like the mainstream dudes that you're probably thinking of.
I remember the first time I heard him, I was like, this guy's not my thing. He was on something with Thundercat, and then shortly after Kendrick Lamar.
Oh, Kendrick, hell yeah! All
Yeah.
right, yeah, Kendrick been around for a while, man.
Yeah,
More
not a
than
fan
4
of
years.
his sound. Not a, his lyrics are good and his flow is good. I just don't like his sound.
All right, so Kendrick is a perfect example for me, like of somebody who's not doing what everybody else did at all.
Right.
He took all the tools and everything that he appreciates from it, and he made his own thing. Like, I don't really know any other rappers that have a flow like Kendrick. It's very unique. He bounces around a lot with his flow. He uses a lot of like different instrumental samples and whatnot for his music to give it a very like different, funky, jazzy kind of feel, but it also keeps it very gritty. Like he's good at molding that gritty feel with that like funky, jazzy kind of feel to his stuff. It's very cool. I really like Kendrick for that. I think he's in his own lane at the moment. Like, not like a lot of people are like, "Oh, he's the goat. He's the goat." And I'm like, "All right, you need to chill with that." All respect to Kendrick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The goat to me, like Eminem is the goat. You know, like that's the goat. You know.
So we were
You
having this
hate on me
conversation. Yeah.
You get hate. I'll get hate because like a white guy saying that Eminem is the goat is like always like okay, like whatever. But like let's go through his catalog and like you can sit down and we can listen to some songs. And if you don't think he's the GOAT after that, then you just aren't, you need new ears, my man. New ears.
We were having this conversation at New Year's where the reason I like Eminem is his flow is great. Most importantly for me though is although I'm not a lyrics guy, and I think I'm not a lyrics guy because usually I can't understand lyrics, words are something that I've always had an issue with. You can clearly hear what he's saying. You can also visualize the story that he's putting out. And then the play on words that he throws together are super fucking interesting, man. So, I've always appreciated Eminem. What's funny is that I've always liked him, but I never realized how much I appreciated him until somebody broke it down for me. WAB.
Gotta represent a little bit. Yeah, man, his shit is on so many different levels. Like, if rap was put out and like you put food to it, like if like the songs people put out were like food, everybody else is just putting out, like an apple at their best work. There's maybe 3 layers to that. You got your fucking skin, your main thing, and then maybe there's a little core in the middle that they put in there. Eminem's just putting out onion on onion on onion. Like there's nothing but like every time you think you peeled back part of the line, you realize, oh shit, the next half of the next line connects with this and also is part of this. Oh shit, and then the third word in there is a double entendre for this whole thing. Yeah. Oh shit, and then you realize the wordplay for all 4 bars all has to do with like one theme, whether it be sports, wilderness, pool, like he'll always do that. It's like, God damn, how many layers are you doing? And then he'll do that in every couple of bars throughout the song. Like some artists can only do that at their best once in a song, a couple times on an album. Like this guy's doing it all song long. Like it's at the point where like he started out and like, anybody that wants to like shit on some of Eminem's earlier stuff, like I can understand that because like, he was still developing his whole craft. He was also high as fuck, on drugs and shit. So after he got out of the whole rehab thing, people were hating on that on the next couple albums that he had out there, like Recovery and Relapse, and what was the other one? Most recent one that nobody listens to. God, I was just listening to that the other day, and it was actually I was listening to it and I was like, damn, I didn't listen to this album because I was retarded, and now I'm listening to it and I'm like, there's a lot of fucking good songs on here. Totally different theme from him. But like you could see him progressing and getting better and better and better and better and better. And he's still getting better and better and better and better and better now. Like his last 3 albums, from Kamikaze to Music to Be Murdered By to Side B, like it's just like, God damn, how high can you raise a bar, when you're already ahead of the pack? And I love it because when you push something, like when you have someone like that in a sport or in a field or in anything, they're gonna get hate. And that's fine. And whether they get the credit they deserve at the end of the day or not, who knows? Doesn't always happen. But they're going to make the sport better. They're gonna force the other guys in the field to step their game up. And that's why I love that Eminem is still rapping. People are like, oh, he's like 40 something putting out albums. Like, God, you damn right he is.
Yeah.
You know when he's going to stop? When all of you are putting out albums like this. And he can be like, you know what? I can finally sit down. Like I've pushed it to I finally raised the water so high that I forced these motherfuckers to learn how to swim, and now I can get out the pool and just chill.
So a lot of my music taste is influenced by a few friends of mine. One in particular, Nick Lorandi, who is a ridiculous guitarist. You should all check him out. If anyone's listening to this, Nicholas Lorandi, guitarist, fucking ridiculous. He's a jazz dude. He showed me a lot of cool shit. I was never really into jazz. Because of him, and then the group of friends that I met through him, I started listening to some modern jazz. And modern jazz tends to be more my cup of tea because there's a lot of really cool different influences. I got into metal because of him, and a lot of the metal that I listen to now has a lot of really cool asymmetrical ideas where like. It's not cookie cutter. It's not going to be like, all right, here's this group, and then here's this. It's, shit's going to land on a different spot, and then the same idea is going to start, but it's going to feel like it started on a different spot. And stuff like that is why I like Eminem's cadence. Because Eminem's cadence doesn't always just land. It'll be a little off, and it's fucking cool how he does that, because his cadence will end not at the end of the sentence. His cadence will be halfway through the sentence before he finishes that sentence into another phrase. Really cool shit. Really, really cool shit. Another really cool thing about hip hop, jazz today is that a lot of jazz is influenced by hip hop, which is the complete opposite of what it used to be, right? Like hip hop used to be influenced by jazz. Now a lot of jazz is being influenced by hip hop, and you're getting a lot of cool shit out there because of it.
Dude, that whole thing we were saying with Eminem and his cadence and whatnot, like that's one of those things where you find an artist that's not going with the contemporary thing, and they do their own thing, and it becomes their style, and then other people can, imitate that style and take it as their own and use it as influence and become something and make their own style. And that's why, like, Kendrick might not be your cup of tea. A lot of people aren't really not to say they don't appreciate Kendrick, they just don't listen to it because it's not really like what they flow out to. When I'll throw a Kendrick album on, like. The downside is I don't drive as much anymore. I would love to throw a Kendrick album on when I would be driving. Because when I was driving, like just the way that his album goes song to song, I don't know if you've ever listened to like To Pimp a Butterfly or anything, to like just throw it in when you're driving and like just go song to song. Don't bounce around. It's just such an ill feel. It just gives you such a cool vibe when I'm driving, and I love it for that because it's not like that normal stuff, So I think that you'll see a lot more artists like Kendrick going forward too, just taking a little bit of a different approach to it, kind of like M with his cadence. That's kind of what Kendrick does. He's off with his cadence a little. He switches it up a lot. He's got a little bit more of a poetic-y type of feel where it's like not everything even rhymes. Like you break down Kendrick stuff, like a lot of his stuff does not rhyme.
That's actually something I like. I like shit not to rhyme.
It doesn't rhyme. It's close. It has the same feel. Like the same flow, and he's not mumbling the word. He's actually like pronouncing it, You know, it's just it doesn't rhyme, but it doesn't always have to, because it all feels right in a sense.
The flow itself.
The flow itself, and the story that he's telling, and the words that are going, like it all plays into like it allows you to be like, all right, I give you a pass on that little one. Not even I give you a pass, like I didn't even notice you did that.
Right, and that's where real musicianship comes in too.
Yeah.
It's not like I have to make every single every single sentence rhyme. No, man, the flow is guiding it. It's great.
The story's guiding it. The feel. As long as I'm still with it, you don't lose me. Just as long as because it doesn't rhyme, I'm lost. All of a sudden, it's like ooh, it's like a record scratch. As long as you don't scratch the record, you know, like I'm still there. I'm with you. Okay, cool. And I'm not saying like DJs scratch the record. I'm just saying like if you're playing a record and then all of a sudden it's scratch, like oh whoa, what's that?
Yeah, exactly. You know who I think has a cool sound, but unfortunately, their shit is all just fucking super mainstream and it just feels super cookie cutter. Is Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj does some cool things. It's just unfortunate that what it's put in and how it's put in and the content is just garbage.
Yeah,
but some aspects of her flow I like.
I like a couple of her styles, the way that she has like the different personalities and whatnot.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, like I'm into that. I'm into that. That's cool. Something different. I'm not a Cardi B fan, man.
No.
Not a Cardi B fan.
No way. No thanks.
Not at all. But again, there's a flavor for everybody.
There's a flavor for everyone.
That's why everybody can be a hater on something, man. It's not bad to be a hater. You just gotta don't hate too hard, guys.
Don't hate too hard.
Don't hate too hard.
Moral lesson today.
Can't go full hate hard.
Where's my camera? Don't hate too hard.
Don't go full hate hard.
And on that, we're gonna sign off, everybody. Thank you for joining us for the WAB. We had a good conversation today. So
catch you guys next time. Shit, bro. Yeah, we got a little Super Bowl episode coming out this weekend. So stay tuned. Peace. So don't forget the ransom is unmarked bills, and it's going to go to WAB Podcast.
Whoa! What are you doing, JB?
That's not this?
No, we're just doing an outro video.
Gotcha. Okay. So thanks again for tuning in to the WAB Podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the comments on your way out. We'll see you next week.
Where the hell did that come from?
Dude, nobody told me that this wasn't the other video. I thought this was the other video, man. My bad.
You gotta chill, man.
Yeah, that's it.